Take that.
You're not the boss of me.
Or anything, it would seem. Howdy ho, guys and gals. Welcome back to Sunday Night Tool Talk Live with me and the missus and the cell phone.
It's letting you know that
Oh
we're
my
live.
gosh, it is.
Maybe, maybe not. Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
What the heck? Everything
Why is there song?
Everything's
happening.
What was it? It was a commercial or something.
Welcome to our super professional.
We've done this before.
Yes.
You can tell.
Like twice. Anyways, I hope everyone's having a great night. Thank you for joining us. I can't see any of the comments.
Sure you
Whatever.
can. They're right over here.
Okay.
And Keith Korkek.
I would
Welcome.
love.
New Cub
Yes.
member.
Welcome. I would love to know where your last name comes from.
I would
It's
love
really
to
cool.
know how to pronounce it properly.
Yes, so we would also like to know. Neil F. Welcome. Welcome to Neil and Kevin. I don't have a bell. I don't have a.
We don't do the
thing.
bell thing anymore.
I know. I'm just.
So that's why you don't have a bell.
But I want a
Yes,
thing.
yes. This will be the first one I'm able to catch. Seth says, that's hard to say. Neil, how's it going? Barbecue 76 in the house. Steven's here. Billy, Tom, LaChatbot, a.k.a. I think it's Linda, correct me if I'm wrong. Michael, Craig, Jesse, James before Trolling Dollars, Mark H10, Goblin Bear says hi.
Iron Eagle Forge.
I see you, Griffin. Thinks he's clever. How's everyone doing tonight? All right, let's see what we got here. Do they start on time? We were pretty close.
Yeah.
We were rushing at the last second because I was not paying attention to the time. Mrs. Bear is still trying to find some ears. You know how she goes. Let's see. Shut up, Moto. Yeah, that's the way you got to go. Linda says, good evening, Jeff and Jesse. Troll for Dollar says, howdy from Phoenix. How's it down there in Phoenix? It was getting pretty warm today.
When I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness, they're probably really hot. It's very hot.
Jason said, I made Man Caver Tools sad. Well, you know what? I'm not here to be... I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm not here to be nice either. Anyway, it was not a fun video to make. I don't like doing it. If people hadn't, gotten out of line, it wouldn't have been a problem. 501, not bad. The Pause says, heard of King Arthur's tools. Any good? I've heard of Excalibur. That's the only King Arthur tool I know of. There was a round table. I don't know if it was a table saw. Patrick Patterson, my bad, says $5. Says, howdy. $5. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Do your thing. You're supposed to come up with a thing.
I don't have a thing.
You're supposed to come up with a thing. That's your job. Come up with a thing. You are the thing?
I am the thing.
Wow.
I don't have a thing. I'm sorry.
Thinks a lot of herself. Nick Hoffman says, for the Emperor. But no, I have not. Sorry, going back to the pause. I have not heard of King Arthur's tools. Sorry. 99 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday. Only 94 today. Talked about in Phoenix there.
I think it was kind of similar. Like, it was 99 when I went out yesterday.
Yeah, it was
seemed
really hot yesterday.
Slightly less hot today.
And yesterday was when we were at the drift thing, right?
Yeah.
I took the Cubs to a drift event here in Vegas. The older one has really gotten into drift cars and the drift scene, and he wants to, build a drift car and all this stuff. And I'm just trying to be a good dad and be interested in the stuff he's interested in. I'm like, let's build a 4x4, an Overlander. He's like, yeah, I don't want to do that. They're not fun.
How come yours is moving and mine's not?
Because nobody likes yours.
Well, if I'm supposed to,
Oh, you don't know. There you go.
On task.
All right. Anyway, Greg says, first time catching a live, watching from Denver. Sean says, wife and I are watching and love the headgear. Need lights. Need better lights for the studio or better lights for her headgear?
Or does my headgear need lights?
We have lights for the studio. The problem is the camera we're currently using. I left my good camera in Montana, and this webcam, if I bring up the lights, it just washes everything out.
It makes me blind.
Yeah.
Blind.
So, it's good. It has a nice little remote control. I mean, that's lots of fun. But it's like, this is at 12%, 25, 50, 75. There's 100.
And you can see that I just closed my eyes
dark.
for all of it. Because I have migraines and my husband's trying to kill me.
Hey, you know,
I'm just going to say...
Every bit helps.
Nice. I'm just going to say, I feed you.
Kirk says, good evening, Jeff and Jesse. Warm and humid here in Pennsylvania. What is humid? I don't know what humid
Shush. You know what humid is.
Did you see the Hart drill deal at Walmart, $17.25? No, I didn't. That sounds like a heck of a deal. I'll have to try and find that. I'll tell you what, I am still infatuated with that Hart, the low power spray rinser, they called it. In fact, I reached out to a couple overlanding groups that are here in Vegas that I know through Instagram, and they were both like, okay, that's legit. They were like, I would put that on my rig. So the overlanding groups think it's pretty cool. So I think most of the campers, I've showed some of the RV friends we have, see what they think about it.
They mean blinking lights for antlers.
Yeah. So now some RVs do have outdoor shower washes. You know, I guess we're not that level of RVer yet.
No, we're not.
Could you? Oh wait, hold on. I'm out of order here. Splat B says, hello from New Jersey. Just went from 35 to 75 in 24 hours. Went from hot coffee to iced coffee in the same day. When I lived in California on the coast, it was like that a lot. It really wrecked hell with my sinuses. Trolling for Dollars says, could you explain the table saw picture you posted on your community YouTube page? It was just a link to a Craigslist find. I've just tried to think of stuff to post. I got this idea of like a couple times a week just going through Craigslist across, like there's a couple sites that let you search all of Craigslist. I'm like, let's find the best table saw deal, used table saw deal out there. So I posted a link to the best. You can get that thing for $250 of all the table saws at that time for sale on Craigslist. That was the best deal going. And a few days before that, I did a scroll saw. It was the best scroll saw deal. And I think the next one I'm going to do is like the best bandsaw deal. So, Steve says we're still having wild temperature swings and pollen is wreaking havoc on allergies.
It's been really bad.
The pollen here is terrible. Like, it will coat your car and it looks like somebody sprinkled yellow flour all over it. Mm-hmm. Sean says we need blinking lights on her antlers. You mean like the Christmas one she has? When are you all headed back to Montana? Soon. We actually had already planned to be there by now, but things happen with school, with the kids, try to get everything wrapped up. My brother's coming into town, so we're hanging out to meet up with him. So he's going to be here next week? Later this week? So after he leaves, we will probably load up and head back. Thing is, I'm not sure I'm going to go back because I then have to turn around and come back down in 2.5, 3 weeks after that for World of Concrete. So I might just hang out here for a while, which would suck, but it would save some money and a whole lot of travel. Do World of Concrete and then head up for the summer. Larry says, I bought the Central Machinery 1x30 belt sander. What are your thoughts about it? I've not used it a lot. The guys I know who do use it all are knife makers, and they love it. Apparently, there's a whole bunch of them. Apparently, there's a lot of those. Like, there's a clone. Like, everybody and their brother sells a 1x30, and if you can get it on sale, it's a pretty good deal. Mater says, my girlfriend and I got back today from our first... Wait, your girlfriend? Is this an official term now? Awesome. Congratulations. My girlfriend and I got back from our first bike rally together. It would have been better without the rain. I have video on my channel. Oh, yeah. The rain just makes you, that much closer for body warmth. I can just imagine. Biking in the rain does not sound like a fun... I remember living in the Midwest and driving and seeing bikers huddled under overpasses during big rain showers and stuff.
Well, and also we see them a lot in the summer in Yellowstone. Do you remember, like, 2 or 3 years ago, we went through and we went to Old Faithful, and I felt so bad. Oh, because they've been working on the roads in Yellowstone. They actually, in the park, for years at this point. Forever.
And there's always basically 20% of the park that's torn up. It's dirt roads. Well, you got tons of traffic churning this up, dirt roads, it rains, and then the guys on the Harleys come through, thinking it's going to be nice, smooth roads, and they hit dirt and mud, and they're behind somebody in a rental RV that's just kicking mud back at them.
Right, because they're driving like they're driving a tiny car.
Yeah.
Stephen Miller with the $1 super chat. Thank you so much. Super appreciate it.
Do your thing.
Really?
You're supposed to have a thing.
Be your thing all night?
Here, blow bubbles. No? Anyway, maybe, how about this? Every time somebody does a super chat, I'll get the foam cannon out and we'll spray her down with the foam cannon. Oh, wait, family friendly. I forgot. The Lionheart Outdoors says, looking forward to the Heart rinser as well as the vacuums. So I was talking to somebody mentioned the fact that he thought they were all just rebranded Ryobi's, and some of them are, to be clear. Some of these are Ryobi products, but like the rinser is not anything that we've seen before from Ryobi or Heart. And the vacuums, to me, look more like they came out of the Hoover line. You guys don't know, TTI also owns Hoover. Looks like they grabbed the Hoover stuff and put a Heart battery on it, but I could be wrong on that one. I'm not a vacuum aficionado. Robert says, renters moved out of the daughter's house, and now I get to repaint and tile before it goes on the market to sell. Lots of fun. Not. Oh, yeah, that sounds like lots of work.
I was wondering about that. I know she travels a lot, so.
The daughter?
Yes. I believe that she is also a flight attendant.
Oh, wow. Steven says, yeah, the pollen is coating cars here in a hurry. I desperately have been talking about. So we got started talking about Western Michigan the other day, and now I'm trying to figure out a way for us to go up there at least for a couple weeks and tool around. I don't know. Oh, look. There's a poofy-headed bear now. When do you let me shear you like a sheep?
My mom said it's okay.
I said it's okay.
Let's see here. Charlie says, I only asked about the table saw because the post was pulled down by the time I clicked on it. I wonder if you got too many questions from people.
Or it's sold.
Or it's sold. Nick says, looking for ideas. Is the vacation page happening?
I think we went for the summer.
Yeah, we talked about doing like vacation ideas and posting things and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I totally forgot about that. We get it. There's so much stuff we have to get back on. Kirk says, Jeff, humid is my knees can predict the weather better than the weatherman. I know that feeling. Typically, though, I can just smell it when it's going to rain. You know, you walk outside and you get that certain scent, and you're just like, oh, yeah, it's going to rain 32 minutes. And the kids look at me like, you can't smell rain? Oh, yes, I can. Shane says, love your videos. Check every day for them. Thank you very much. Michael says, hey, Jeff, are you still having problems with the deposits, the depot's online orders? I've ordered something on April 10th, and it's still processed. The store told me they have info. I don't shop at Home Depot very often. And the only reason, a lot of people couldn't understand this, the only reason I was going there was because they are the only outlet, the retail outlet for these saw blades. Could I have ordered them online? Yes, I could have, but it would have taken 1 to 2 weeks, and I would have had to order like a 5-pack of them, and I just wanted a couple of them. And so I made the mistake of thinking that one of the 12 Home Depots in my area that said they had them in stock would have them in stock. I know. High hopes. Rotterdam says humidity is Texas year-round. Don't even get me started at Texas. I'm pissed at Texas right now.
We're not speaking to Texas right now.
So I've been looking, if you've been following, I've been looking to buy a car to keep here in Vegas and decided to have a little fun with it. So I've been looking at the Hyundai Genesis, which is a 4-door sedan, standard full-size car. Nothing to write home about, except it's got a beefier engine, at least the one I'm looking at, has a beefier engine than a Mustang 5-liter. It really does. They have two of them. They have just the one that has the 5.0 8-cylinder in it, and then they have one called the R-Spec. And at first I was hot and heavy about getting the R-Spec, and I had found one online in Houston, and I reached out to them, and I said, yep, I'll buy it. And they said, well, do you want to, they were really hot and heavy about us financing some of it, because, they make more money when they finance it, and I just wanted to get the car. I'm like, tell you what, how about if I put down half and I finance half? And then I figured as soon as we get that done, I'll just pay it off anyway.
Yeah.
And because the prices on these things have been going up in like the last 3 months, they've been going through the roof. So I find the car. I'm like, let's do the deal. I send them all my information. I send them all the pay stubs, all that kind of stuff. And they're taking forever. But then they tell me, well, you know what? It won't. It's not. It has to go through our used car reconditioning program because we literally got it in the day after I called. And I said, fine, I get it. I'm not in a huge rush. I'll get it. Let me know. I'll book a plane ticket. I'll fly down there, pick it up. Once we get all the paperwork done, drive her back. Keep going. I don't hear anything from these guys. I ping them every so often. Finally, after a few, first they call me, they're like, oh, we need different paperwork. You send it to us in one piece. We need it broken up into 3 pieces. I'm like, that's ridiculous. I got a call from the credit agency saying, you've been approved. This is a done deal. You just need to sign at the dealership. Call the dealership. They're like, oh, we don't know what you're talking about. Let us figure out. Then they call me the other day and say, sorry, 2 days ago, your car was sold. So what it turns out is they had me on the line knowing I was going to pay X price for the car. Well, locally, for the last 2.5 weeks, they'd been trolling to see if they can get a higher price. Apparently they did, so they sold it to that person without even telling me until after the fact. And then they had the balls to say, but you know what? Sorry that got sold 2 days ago, but tell you what we'll do. I'm going to look around and see if I can find a similar car with a similar spec at a similar price, and I'm going to get back to you with a list. What makes you think I'm going to deal with you?
Yeah.
I wasn't willing to fly from here to there for a similar car. I'm looking for a specific car. Anyway, that's my rant about Houston Direct Auto, which I will never, ever deal with. Not that I live in Houston, but
some of you do. Jared Marshall, I know that you just posted that question the second time. He talks a lot sometimes, so we're behind. So we are going to get to your question, I promise.
Yeah, if you type in at the Den Tools, I will eventually get through it, but I go through everything one by one by one.
And then sometimes he goes on tangents. And then he blames
me. It happens.
Because I'm the wife.
Yep. Steven says, dirt roads plus rain plus heavy tourist traffic equals big trouble. Yeah. Barbecue 76 says, you know why bikers huddle in overpasses at the rate in the rain? Because a water drop at 60 plus miles an hour feels like it does. I've been boat sailing, and the driving wind from sailing makes it feel like you're getting hit with like a sandblaster. It hurts.
Jared's comment is right at the top. It's like 2 or 3 up from where you just read. It's because he didn't do at the Den of Tools the first time. So.
Hey, Jeff and Jesse, longtime subscriber here. Question, would you get the Harbor Freight Daytona 3-ton Super Duty jack or the Daytona 4-ton Standard Duty jack? Well, unless you had a specific reason, is there a 4-ton? I thought there was only a 3-ton. Basically, the way I look at it is this. Unless you have a specific reason to buy anything other than the Super Duty, I would get the Super Duty because it comes standard with a 3-year warranty. So if you have any problems, you just bring it in. They just give you a new one. That's a pretty good deal. I personally, when I bought the 3-ton long reach because it lifts higher than the Super Duty. And at the time, I had a half-ton pickup truck, and it sat on some fairly. It wasn't lifted, but it was on some fairly big tires, and I wanted the extra clearance for that. Honestly, I've seen all of these jacks used at dealerships and different like oil change and tire change places, and man, they beat the hell out of them, and they just last. They like them a lot. So I'm not really worried about any of them, but unless you have a specific reason that says I want a 4-ton, that then I'd get the 3-ton Super Duty just for that warranty. Let's see here. Coney says, first live stream, been a subscriber for a while now. Awesome, glad you could make it. Lucas says, hey, it's the D-Ware guy who thinks he can build a pole barn, which is better rigid or cobalt. Can they hold up to contractor use? Still can't use DeWalt or Hilti, still hate my job. I'm sorry about that. Which is better, rigid or cobalt? Rigid makes some excellent tools. They really do. Their battery platform is okay. It's not the best, and they've got some... Their chargers I'm not really thrilled with. Cobalt could kind of be said the same thing. Unfortunately, they don't have a lot of high-powered Cobalt batteries, but they do have the XTR line of stuff. I could tell you, if I was a DIYer doing stuff, I would be buying into the Cobalt line because they just have a lot more tools. They have a lot more tools, and they have a good, solid 5-year warranty. Rigid has a 3-year warranty with that LSA added on top. A lot of people had issues with them not following through on the LSA and backing out of it. So that would be my 2 cents on that.
Jared, you're totally welcome. He says, thank you for your
no worries.
insight.
Greg says, looking at job site saw for small compact shop for a beginning woodworker. Any suggestions? I think probably the best deal going on right now, if you can find one, is Harbor Freight, the little Hercules one. They came out with a new version. OSHA made new regulations, so everyone had to, not everyone, but like the DeWalt had to redo their job site saw, Harbor Freight had to do their job site saw, and one other one, I want to say it was Mataba. I don't know, they don't have a compact. Can't remember who the third one was. Anyway, when Harbor Freight redid theirs, they are clearing out the old one. So the old one is being sold anywhere between $200 and $230, depending on your store. So that's a good pickup there at that price. Other than that, I don't know of any deals going on right now. Honestly, a lot of these compact job site saws, they're 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. They're all fairly decent when you're talking about like a DeWalt or a Rigid or Harbor Freight or who else makes them? I guess Milwaukee makes one, but they're pretty expensive. I would really recommend looking at the full-size job site, the kind that fold up on the stand. If you can fit that somewhere. When it folds up, it's pretty small. I know you got limited space, but it's a much larger table and easier to work with. It's safer. You can do more stuff with it. Robert says, yep, she's a flight attendant, went back to work last month and is now living in Charlotte with her boyfriend. Got to rehab the house by myself, but Harbor Freight is 5 minutes away. Well, that's a help.
Chip Crooks, if you do at the Den of Tools, Jeff will see it. Otherwise, the reality is by the time he gets to your message, he won't see it because it doesn't say at the Den of Tools.
Barbecue 76 says, Afro Bear just went by. Either let it go or share him. Either way is fine, but in the middle is disco. Disco equals, oh, come on, I like disco.
I think he was saying shear him.
Shear him.
I know it does say shear him.
Yeah. But disco, I mean, I like ABBA. ABBA's good. Who else does disco? Earth, Wind, and Fire. Let's see. Coney says, what's up with the pack-out drawers? They're unavailable everywhere. It's a whole shipping thing. The entire industry is dealing with availability, and it's really hurting new products the most.
Some of our international subscribers are saying, what is OSHA for the uneducated Australian?
Oh, OSHA is the agency of the government here that tries to tell you what you're doing is wrong and not safe, and they're going to fine you lots of money. Unless you pay them a couple hundred bills and they go away. No, they would never do that. Never. They totally would. Anyway, OSHA stands for Operational Safety.
Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Thank you, Jared. I just read that.
There you go.
That he wrote.
Yeah. They're the branch of the government that determines what's safe to do on a work site.
And like if there's an accident, they come and investigate, and then they give you more fines.
Yeah.
And if somebody gets mad at you, they call them.
Basically, if you're a large company, you don't donate to the right people, they find reasons to fine you. Was that Piolin? Says, hi, when would they have the Skill 12-volt combo set drill for $80 again on Amazon? I have no idea. But
they don't actually call us.
Yeah, they don't tell me these. But I will say that I have an alert set up through the software that I use that tells me of these things. Anytime it drops down to that kind of, I think it was $84 was the price I got it. I post it on the Facebook page. So if you're a member of the Facebook page, you will see those deals get posted. I also try to add them into the deals of the week. No rhyme or reason as to when they do it. All right, let me get a little more comfortable here. Hiram says, today I milled a tree stump a synagogue gave to me. I stopped a lot of safety procedures and forgot some important biophysics stuff like don't be and cut corners. Oh, ew, are you okay? Speaking of which, I want to say a quick prayer for Kentucky Ballistics. If you guys haven't watched his channel, it's one of the my youngest cub's favorite YouTube channels, and he had a 50 cal get a hot load and go off in his face, and he nearly died. Yeah. So he's apparently doing better. He did a video, sitting there talking, but
yeah.
Mater's Workshop says, "Don't be mad at me just because I live in Texas." Oh, please. I know you know these guys. You're all friends down there in Texas. I know who you guys are.
Them. You called them ahead of time.
Joel for dollars says, "Get the Hellcat charger."
Yeah.
I'll get right on that.
Yeah. So the Australian equivalent is WHS, which is Work, Health, and Safety.
Are they the ones who make your lumber pink? Because that's adorable. Have you seen it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hiram says, "Don't be like me." Steven says, "You'd have people to hang out with here in Western Michigan. We all have to hang out here and invite Frank Landgraf over too."
Yep.
How far are you guys from Saugatuck? That's where I really want to take
Well,
you.
if you read down, they're talking more about
Okay. Jared says, "Hey, Jeff and Jesse, long-time subscriber here. Question." Oh, that's the one I answered. Yep. Matthew says, "Thank you for your feedback. Taking the time to reply to my question from the different videos means a lot." Hey, no worries, man. I try to read everything. I used to read everything. And now I try to read everything that's posted on the same day on a video. And I try to read everything that a subscriber comments. So if you're subscribed, I should at some point, not always, I should, because YouTube, it's flaky, get a notice, and I try to read all your comments. Matthew says, oh, that's one I just read. Barbecue 76 says, "We literally got it in the day after you called. Please explain to me how that works." Oh, the day before. Pictures. Yeah. Wow. Robert says, "If you do find one in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I'd be more than happy to look at it, drive it out to Vegas for you. Car dealers have been pulling that everywhere lately." I did notice that because having been shopping for this, we did notice a lot of people who had, this is the one that I think has been going on a lot, is they would advertise a car at an exceptional price, one that they know is hot, and then you'd go there and like, "Oh, we just sold it, but I have something else I can show you." And I'm like, this is, and at first I was like, well, okay, that happens. The second time I was like, really? And then I started calling around and people would be like, "Yeah, we just sold it. It's a really hot car, but I can get something very similar. I got something." And then they pitched me something completely different. And I'm like, oh, this is a trend. We're back to the old bait and switch thing. Yeah. And since everything's on Craigslist or Auto Trader and stuff, and it's not being advertised like it used to, like, they'd run the TV ads and stuff, they can't, they're not going to chase down every online post and catch these people for false advertising and pulling bait and switches. But apparently that's that what's old is new again. Neil says, "Sounds like a scam or more somebody to switch." Yeah, that's what I just said. Jennifer White Wolf said something. Hold on, it ran away from me. "Same thing happens to Street Speed 717. They sold a car he had under contract." Yeah, that was, Steven says, "Then the other day we could find somewhere between here and Chicago and invite Ed the old tech guy, Jehu. If they want to hang out, they can get their butts out of Chicago." I mean, I love Chicago, but I'm not driving all the
Chicago.
I guess the Cubs. I love Chicago. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, I want to do a nice, peaceful, meander up the coast of Lake Michigan. But I guess we could do Chicago too. Chicago. Jared says, "Thanks for your insights. We're not going to a Cubs game. I've written off the Cubs."
Chicago.
Shigui says, "Hey there, just want to say thank you for all the great job that you guys do. I'm new on construction and learning quite a lot with you guys. Good job. Thank you so much." Barbecue 76 says, "We'll answer questions directed at the Tools," and I'll read it like I just did there because apparently I'm a robot. Hiram says, "For one thing, you're cutting with electricity, gasoline motor, or manual push. You'll push-pull if you're cutting transverse through the end grains. It will harder even with the right blades." Yeah. Let's see here. Sorry. Jim says, "Just bought a Craftsman 60-gallon pancake compressor kit with 3 nailers, $200 for the set. Bought the 3-year warranty. Good, bad, or blah, blah, blah." I don't know. I mean, Craftsman doesn't make any of their... I don't know. Depends on what Porter Cable, which a lot of the stuff is Porter Cable. Porter Cable made decent nailers and compressors. DeWalt has some decent nailers and compressors. I got to think that, for that price, $200, it sounds a lot like the old Porter Cable kits they used to sell, the 3-for-1 with the compressor. Should be a good deal. I mean, you got the warranty on it and such. John says, good evening, y'all. Recommendations for a cheap folding workbench or even some good value sawhorses. Love the streams. Thanks for putting them on. Cobalt has those metal sawhorses that have the U-shaped brackets on either end. You can put 2x4s in. I like those. Maybe some people don't. I know Harbor Freight, I just saw their new tools. They released a Bauer version. I have no idea the price on it. As far as workbenches, like the Hart folding workbench that you see in some of my videos, we got that for $54 as a closeout. It's made by Ketter. I'm trying to remember the name. And
Do you need me to?
would you go turn off the AC, please?
Don't worry. I like being hot.
Maybe take the sweater off. It won't be so hot.
You're not the boss of me.
We'll see about that. Anyway, Walmart has those. The Ketter version's been showing up at Costco and Sam's Club's really cheap. Now that she's gone. Look what I picked up today. I'll bust this out here. Oh, if I can figure out how to open it. I guess I'll figure it out in a second. Anyway. Those are, I think, are the best workbenches going right now. I really do. Let me tip this down since I'm sitting back. Sorry, I'm taking it a bit easy here. It's been a long, hot day. I've been running a bunch of errands and stuff. Would you recommend the Delta table saw? I heard their motors died prematurely. Is that true? That was when they updated it to the new version. There was a batch right at the beginning. They jumped on it. They fixed it. They corrected it. If any of them... It wasn't the motor. It was the capacitor. It's under warranty if you have a problem. There's no reports of them still doing that. I hate it when rumors like that, when they... Not rumors, but basically something, that information gets out and it never gets updated. The community is always quick to say, well, that's bad. Don't do that. But they never follow up to say, hey, is this still an issue? Because you got to think companies like that's gonna figure it out. So no, it was true for a hot second. They fixed it. It's no longer an issue. If you can find one, buy it because they're hard to find in stock. The cable guy says, do you have any info on where I can find a Delta 36-725? Not sure. In fact, I saw one in doing my research for like the cheapest good value saw on all of Craigslist posts the other day. I found somebody with one new in the box asking $650 for it. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Kevin says, have you ever used or seen the Husky stackable toolboxes? I just got one and it's pretty good quality. What do you think of Husky products in general? It's hard to say what do you think about Husky products in general because it's a huge line and they come from a lot of... There is no Husky anymore. Husky is a long storied company. I should do a history of Husky. Been around probably almost 100 years at this point. But they got bought years and years ago and stuff. And now they're the house brand for Home Depot. A lot of the tools sold under the Husky brand are made by Apex. Some are made by other companies. Hold on a second. I think I got a bug on my leg or something. Anyway, like the wood top workbenches that are similar to the Yukon ones, they're great, but they're not made by... They're made in China by some company. I like the Husky stuff. I generally do. I generally think it's good quality. Some of it's not my favorite. The fit and finish on some of their hand tools can be a little rough, but some of it's nice. It's a real hit or miss kind of thing depending on which item you're looking at. As far as the stackable workbenches, I did look, or stackable toolboxes. Sorry, I did look at them, but two things made me choose to go with the Versa stack here. And the first one is a lack of choices. There's only a handful of choices, if that, in the Husky line as to the type of boxes you can get. And I thought that these seemed to be a little bit better constructed. I will say the Husky did seem to be a little bit bigger. But for me, it was more about functionality of use. I wanted stuff that had drawers. Like having to take the whole thing apart to get access to stuff is not my favorite thing to do. So, anyway, that's my take on those. Brandon says pack-out drawers have been available at Napa. Now they've got mine. They got mine in a day. That's cool. Paul St. Marie says, welcome, Bear Clan. Mark says, how would you compare Icon and Tecton? Pretty closely, honestly. They're both made in Taiwan. They're both competitively priced tools to the tool truck, but at more of a standard retail kind of pricing. They both have excellent warranties. I really like I prefer the what do you call it? The Tecton ratchets. I prefer the Icon ratcheting wrenches. The pliers that Tecton has are pretty close to the Doyle pliers that Harbor Freight has. I would say they're kind of in the same ballpark. It depends on, if there's not a Harbor Freight near you, then definitely go with Tecton because, if something breaks, you take a picture of it, you upload it, 2 to 3 days, you got a replacement. Nick says, of the former richest city in the U.S., Duluth, for mountain biking tomorrow. Or off to the former richest city in the U.S., Duluth. Really? I had no idea. Tommy John says, they had DeWalt pack out on sale. They had them at Farm and Garden. I don't even know what Farm and Garden is. Iron Eagle says, what's your thoughts on the mini metal lathe? I bought one. I have not put it to use, though. I have lots of friends who are into metalworking or, that machine, like hobby machinists, or like they do stuff at work and they wanted something for home and they've got it. A lot of people start off on that mini lathe. So if you can get one at a good price, I'd say do it. Robert says, saw the Kentucky Ballistics video earlier and that was nasty. Yeah, it was. I even wanted to get that same rifle, and I guess I wouldn't be putting slap rounds through it, so it probably wouldn't have been an issue. PT says he was so lucky in more ways than one. Somebody was watching over him. That's the honest truth right there. And we got Lucas Zeleno? Lucas. Hey, Lucas. Thank you so much for the $9.99 with the pair. Oh, and the bow at the end. Very nice. That is cute. All right, let's go back here. It says, Digital 3D says, our state by state, we have the Occupational Health and Safety Act, which law guidelines, but each state has their own audacity. Yeah, that's true. The states love to chime in as well. They all got to get their money. Bargu76 says, disco equals kill me. Fred Hill says, as you can see, I'm sporting my new Bear. Been working over the stove all afternoon making hamburger helper. Oh, hamburger helper. Man, I used to live on that stuff back in my 20s. Thank you so much, Fred. I appreciate the support, by the way. Steven says we're about 45 minutes from Saugatuck. Oh, yeah. Where's, oh, here we go.
You have no idea.
No idea. 3D says, I even think Australia was one of the first countries to have a Health and Safety Act enforced with fines and arbitration commissions. Really?
Oh. Did we do the shout out?
We did. In fact, he was so nice, he even bought me a bottle of bourbon. Wasn't that nice of him? I think it was very nice. And we'd like to thank our viewers. I can't get it open. Will you open it for me? Okay, maybe not. Why don't you read some comments while I... Oh, Chaka, look at that.
Good evening.
Thanks,
Ryobi,
Chaka.
Hart, and Harbor Freight are all trash. Wow.
Ooh.
All of them.
Not like it Harbor Freight these days.
Alrighty then.
Okay.
I feel like I have a stick in my eyeball.
Probably from scowling so much. Can I use my outside voice again?
Yeah, I'm not buying it. That's right. That's super right. Z Torrent says, I don't think she believes you. Yeah. Lucas says, last question. Have you used the rigid subcompact line? By the way, I'm in my 30s and I still live off Hamburger Helper sometimes. Pan fryer helped when times are tough. Hey, you know what? I am a big fan of you got to do what works for you. And I'm a super big fan of cheap meals. One of my favorite cheap meals is super cheap.
Chip beef on toast?
Yep. Yeah. Somebody said smoked meatball spaghetti for dinner tonight here. Loving my $350 Masterbuilt 560 gravity smoker grill. Awesome.
All right. So for those of you who don't know, this is Flintlock 88. Never seen this before.
They can't see it either.
Not sponsored.
Looks like a Wolverine tried to open that.
Wolverine did try to open it. Went full Velociraptor on it. I'm kind of a bourbon aficionado. I wrote a book and everything. And so we're going to see what this is like. Of course, I don't have any glasses out here, so we're going to be all home style here.
I hope that paper was delicious. It looks delicious. Hey!
That's not bad.
Chris with the $2.99 super chat. I see flies.
That's not bad. I've tried a lot of new bourbons, and usually I'm disappointed. That's not bad.
Yes, Chris. Thank you for joining us tonight. And I, too, see flies.
Very caramely.
Which... Iron Eagle Forge with the $4.99 super chat.
Woo!
Thanks. New to your channel. Really like what you do. First live stream. Thanks again. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Chris, for the super chat. I hope you are doing well. Hopefully internet is happening.
First live stream sees me being all classy, drinking right from the bottle.
Yeah. You're just being right up front.
Hey, Griff. You want to go grab your dad one of the small whiskey glasses?
Ooh, I sure can.
See if he knows what a whiskey glass
still
is.
thought he had headphones on.
Keep expecting him to do that. Walk away from the table, drag the computer after him. Zap says, I'm reminded of the National Lampoon's Family Vacation awesome scene where he goes to trade his old school station wagon for a new one. Yeah. Steven says, I'm sorry for mentioning Chicago.
It's totally fine. Chicago's amazing.
The Cabela's guy says, do you know where I can find a Delta table saw? It's been sold out forever.
You want me
Thank
to
you.
pour you a finger?
No, that's all right. Thank you.
Good job, Griff.
It'll do. It'll do. It'll
It's
do.
great. That's what he means to say.
But no, as far as the saws, I don't know. They show up randomly. Some places, some areas have them in stock in spades. Other places haven't seen one in months. Fred says bear in a hot load cooks off in the chamber. I've seen an M16 where the entire it blows out the side. Yeah, it's I've seen mostly pistols, hand-loaded pistols, revolvers and stuff like that go off and just basically tear themselves apart. Never seen quite anything like that 50 cal. Justice says finally catching TTL after a long hiatus, cooking some burgers on the grill. That sounds nice. That reminds me, don't let me forget, I need to clean the grill this week.
Okay.
When's the best time to buy a Ryobi? Ryobi days. When is it? Usually in the summer, late spring kind of thing. They don't usually tell you until like a few weeks ahead of time, if that. Aaron says, latest law channel covers those auto scams fairly regularly. You know, I should reach out to him about that. I do like his channel. Let us get his input on it. And he's from Michigan. I mean, if we could do a meetup kind of thing or a collab or something. What's a good titanium metric drill bit kit? I don't know, to be honest. That is not my bailiwick. But if somebody else wants to chime in and say what they think the best drill bit kit is for something like that, I'd like to hear about it. Throttle Power says, say, by the way, that's something else you'd be surprised to find out at this channel. If we don't know something, we'll tell you. Throttle Power says, saying hi, Jeff and Jesse. Hope all is well. Jim C says, howdy, Jeff. Fingers crossed. And Tony says, hey, Jeff and Jesse, good to see you. Hope you and the family are doing great. Thank you, sir. The Mark says, happy wife, happy life. That is
so true.
I live by that, to be honest.
Just likes to pull my...
I do like to pull around your old tail every so often. It's a bad habit. Dr. Ray says, any suggestions for socket organizers for use for the T-stack double drawers? That's a good question. Right now, I just use the regular dividers and, organize. So the problem is things aren't organized well by size. If I come across a good solution, I will let you know, but I have not found one yet. Let's see here. Chris says, well, if you're busting out the whiskey, I'll bust out mine. Knob Creek, here I come. I like Knob Creek. Knob Creek's a decent drink there. Let's see here. Sean says, appreciate your videos on Tecton. Do you think it's worth spending a little more with them over Gear Wrench for home use? I would spend more with them for this reason. They have a better track record of warranty service. I like Gear Wrench. I've got Gear Wrench in the box behind me. I'm not opposed to it. I just think they do a little better job than most companies, to be entirely honest, when it comes to support. An Orange says, shoot, I'll drink too. Time to grab 7-Up. Going hard. Let's see here. Jeff McGee says, Dental Tools. By the way, you guys, you have to type, I've read a lot of these because I happen to see it. You have to type at the Dental Tools like that. If you leave out the, it doesn't show up in orange. I just happened to see it. It says, good morning. Well, for me anyway. Just woke up, getting ready for work. Hi from beautiful PNW.
Pacific Northwest would be my guess. Is that correct? Let me know if I'm wrong.
Well, that's what I thought of, but he says, this is good morning. Well, unless you're working third shift.
Right. It's his morning.
Yeah. And if you are, I'm sorry, man. That is a tough road to hoe. Chuck says, Milwaukee 18-volt brushless 7.25-inch circ saw with 3 amp-hour battery, charge 318 versus Flex 24-volt cordless circ saw with 8 amp-hour battery, charge of $300. No-brainer. I would go with, I like Milwaukee, but that Flex, oh no, sorry. Let me back that up. I was thinking Flex Volt. If it was the DeWalt Flex Volt, that thing's a beast. I've got this right behind me. It's over there there it is, right? Nope, other finger. There, right there. There it is. So I've got it. It's a decent saw, but it's...
And I just thought we were pointing at things. Don't hurt me.
Where's my hammer? It's nothing to write home about. It's just a decent saw. It really is. And the Milwaukee, I don't know about the Milwaukee. I would say, look at the Flex Volt from DeWalt, man. The thing is a beast. Sitting here trying to stitch shop videos together with OpenShot. Good. Gosh, this is tedious, Paul. Video editing is like that.
It looks super amazing.
Yeah. Kevin says, I want to buy a second line of tools. I'm debating between Craftsman and Cobalt. I would vote Cobalt. I've not been thrilled with the Craftsman stuff I've seen. Cobalt has a 5-year warranty versus a 3-year warranty. I think they've got more diverse line of tools. They've got the XTR line of tools for added oomph if you need it. That's my 2 cents. I would, if it was my money, I would go with Cobalt over Craftsman. And I've said this for some time. I've seen nothing to change my opinion of that. Mark says everything in California causes cancer. I love that. When you look online and you look at and this is sold in California, by the way, it causes cancer. I'm like,
and buildings.
I'm like it's a piece of rock or something.
And when you go into all the buildings in
stuff in here may cause you cancer.
Which, if you're from another country, kind of creeps you out.
That's what they do. Is like the only way we can cover our ass on all this is we just put it on everything. Everything causes you cancer.
Water, air.
Well, it's like on
food.
YouTube. If we put a link to something and somehow we get something back from it, we have to disclose that. So I put an asterisk on everything and just assume that all links give me money back or something. At this point, I don't care. Just assume it. Even if I don't make a cent on it, just assume that I do, because I would rather you assume that I did every time than miss the one time I actually did and get in trouble for it. Justin's Garage, and they're based in California, so that makes sense. Justin's Garage says, will you be resuming the Jeff and Jesse show in the morning on the Bears Den? No. No, we're not. I don't. I know she keeps trying to talk me into it. I don't have enough time to do it.
I know. And it's super selfish of me to...
It's fun to hang out with the group of friends that we have, and the great people, but it takes so much time out of my day for being productive to everything else, and it's just not going anywhere with it. All right, if there was more of a community there and it made sense to be more involved like that, I would love to do it. But I have to look at getting the most bang for my hour out of every day.
Sadly, I've been unable to clone him.
I keep trying to clone you, so I tried
to
send you to Helsinki and you wouldn't go. Sam says, I'm trying to decide on a new 7/4-inch circ saw. I'm leaning towards Bosch. What's your thoughts? Bosch makes a good saw. I'll be honest, I've not seen a lot of these saws that make me really want to write home. The two saws, and 7/4. Here's the question: what is it about 7/4 that you need that the 6.5 or whatever it is won't do? Can I get you to do me a favor?
No.
Can you point that fan, either turn it up or point it more towards me, because I'm getting them warm over here.
Keep drinking.
I was warm before that.
You're always hot.
I am. It's because I'm sitting so close to you.
Oh.
You didn't see that. The latest songs that I've seen that actually made me stand up and take notice were as I said before, the DeWalt FlexVolt, which has more power than the corded version, and the new Flex, not that one, the inline one, just because of the inline nature and how deep it can cut for its size and stuff. That's my 2 cents on it. I think I said that before. How about a classy apology to Mancaver Tools? How about Mancaver Tools be honest that he did a video before I did, coming out and accusing anyone who got Flex Tools of being on the take from them, and that he wouldn't have taken free tools because, well, he's surrounded by thousands of dollars in Hilti tools. You guys all seem to forget that part. How about the part where he lied flat out about what the battery composition was and how they worked? How about that? How about the fact he lied about what the gearing ratio was on the DeWalt and saying that second gear was the same on that as the other ones? No. You comes onto my channel, accuses, in my post says, I wouldn't do a video like this after already having done a video like that. I would just say thank you for your criticism, and then turns around and starts shouting and shrieking that I'm a sellout and all this other stuff. You guys seem to miss a lot of the stuff that he does and want to make apologies for him. I didn't call him out by name. He went out and accused the entire YouTube community. So when you have a chat with him about that, then you can say that you've been honest too. Lucas says, last question, have you used the rigid subcompact line? By the way, I'm in my 30s. I still live. Oh, that's one.
We talked about that one, yeah.
I have not used the subcompact line from Rigid. I'm sorry. I've used their 12-volt line, what there is of it. What do you think of the X-Lock system? I love it. I wish, that's one thing I said about Flex Grinder when it came out, is they missed the boat. They should have had the X-Lock on it. Cable's guy says, you really ruffled the feathers of David Nicholas on Mancaver Tools. Freaking hypocrite, man. Sit there and does a video. Well, I just said, he does a video about this, and then acts like he didn't do anything. Rapunzel says, we just opened a fresh bottle of Uncle Nearest, smooth yet warming like Yukon. The Mark Olson says, skip the middleman. I know, right? Ryan says, just logged in, already cranking on the hard stuff. Fred says, my other charge card on file died. Well, Bear, the last Sears store in the state of Colorado will close end of May. That's a sad thing. I mean, we all knew it was coming. Still end of an era. Mancaver wants to wrestle you. I don't go that way. I'm married happily. That's the team I play for.
Sam said I should have specified I need a corded saw. So did you?
Oh, corded saw.
Did you?
There's been some good deals on corded saw. Right now, the best deal I've been seeing going on for a corded, you're talking about circ saw, right? Is the
I didn't see the other one.
Metabo HPT. Lowe's has been blowing them out. I can't really tell you what the price is going to be because it's been different store to store, but it's been pretty cheap. And then also the Craftsman corded saw has been, if you want something that's even step down from that, it's also pretty cheap. The booze might not be bad, but watching you turn 3 shades of red right in front of us was priceless. Nice. Robert Ebb says, when you're making baby back ribs, add a little bourbon to them. When in the wrap stage, it infuses the meat with flavor. Ooh, that sounds good. Lionheart Outdoors says, I was at the work site with some millwrights and maintenance crews. I saw Craftsman and Bauer impact wrenches. I had to laugh considering the commentary of the tool bros. Yeah, I always love this. No, those things never, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, what I find is if you don't beat on your tools, and you take care of them, almost anything that's made today will last. On Orange says, Hilti 12-volt stuff probably doesn't have the safety shutoff, though. I caught a paddle in the garden trough and the entire screwdriver went. Be careful. Oh, my gosh. I haven't had a chance to play with their 12-volt stuff. That looks pretty cool. Torque Test Channel. Hey, what's the best way to keep track of batteries and chargers from 10 different tool lines?
Yeah, that's the question. Yeah.
I use the big yellow, the black and yellow tubs, and I put tool lines, chargers, and batteries in all of those. And that's how. And I look over here because I have a stack of them right here next to me, and that's what I use.
He's delusional.
If I get a big enough shop, which we're shopping for right now, we're looking to get a new place. If I get a big enough shop, I'm gonna have a wall section for each of them. Where was it? Here we go. D-Rays says Forgotten Weapons does a good breakdown on what happened with Kentucky Ballistics. I'll have to check that out. He's got a good channel. Jeff McGee says, how much more expensive of the Herc line do you think they will go? Nailers, jigsaws? The jigsaw is... I don't know what's going on with the jigsaw. They announced that it's coming out, but they haven't said when, and it's been over a year at this point. Nailers, I think we will see nailers. I think the line for Hercules will... I think they're going to mimic kind of like what DeWalt and Milwaukee do, but in a limited sense. I don't think you're going to see a lot of the outdoor power equipment like you see with the Bauer line, stuff like that. But I think for most of the traditional tool kind of stuff, you're going to see that.
Paul Saint-Marie, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says Dirty Barbecue Chat for Barbecue 76.
Woohoo!
Thank you so much. I hope you're having a great night. You okay over there?
No, I'm just tasting it because it's a new one. I haven't had it before.
Keith says, zany headwear. I'm assuming you're talking about these.
Don't think he's talking about my bald head. Mark says, I recently got some large size wrenches from Sunex, and their finish was horrible. That surprised me based on all the reviews. I don't know if you saw my wrench review I did 2 years ago, but the Sunex stuff did not have a good finish to it. And I like a lot of Sunex stuff that I've seen. I particularly like their carts and their cabinets and such. But a lot of their hand tools I've seen have been... ICT Car Guy says, that is an experienced poor level for neat consumption. Yeah, I always drink it neat. No ice, no water, no mixes. Fry says, just great. Now we have to go make a drink. For some reason, I got thirsty. Well, come on, it's Sunday night. We sit down, been a long weekend, long week. Get relaxed and get ready to face the Monday.
Mike, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, so glad you're a pro 2A.
Oh.
And then Mark, not Mike, Mark underneath him says 2A is American, not partisan.
Yeah, I'm not just pro 2A. I was a CCW instructor and personal protection in the home instructor in California for years. I still have all my certs. I keep them up to date. So I taught scouts. I was on Student Sports Council for scouts in the Bay Area. In fact, the whole reason I got into it is my cub got into scouts because San Francisco had gotten rid of their Boy Scouts because, San Francisco Boy Scouts. And they came back, they were reorganizing, and I was sitting there with a bunch of the parents, and they said, okay, we need somebody to represent, we need some people to fill out the Shooting Sports Council. And they said, Jeff, we think you should do that. And I looked around, I'm like, why am I going to do that? And they all looked at each other, then they looked at me and they were like, because you're the only person here who owns one of those things. They didn't say that, but I don't like to use that word here on the...
Yeah.
So the YouTube,
yeah,
algorithm can hear me.
Star
Sniper.
$10 Canadian. Thank you so much. Learned so much from your videos. God bless you and your family. Love from Montreal. Jonathan. Awesome.
Oh, I've never been to Montreal. I always wanted to go to Montreal.
Yes.
I want to hit up Montreal, Quebec, and practice my really bad French. That will really offend you guys.
Well, at least you have the ability to speak French. I do not. I just smile and nod.
Yeah. Randy says, hello, and chat first live stream I caught in a long time. Thank you, sir, for being here. Troy for $1 says, good news, I picked up part-time work for the next 5 weeks after 13 months of sitting pantsless at home. What's wrong with sitting pantsless? I guess I shouldn't stand up. The Paul St. Marie says the titanium coating is pretty much irrelevant unless you're in an industrial situation drilling steel repeatedly. The problem with metallic drills in the U.S., that was my assumption, is that I've seen all this stuff with titanium coated, and I'm like, everything I've seen from that is unless there's a higher grade of titanium coated, which I'm guessing that there probably is, but that's probably again for the higher end industrial stuff, and I don't do industrial drilling. Paul St. Marie could probably help you with it though. Chuck Gillis will know when the Raby days are.
Yes.
Later. All right.
Crafty Fat Kid says at Den of Tools, not at the Den of Tools, but I happen to see it. What's Mrs. DeBear drinking? You need to come to Edmonton. I am not drinking anything alcoholic currently.
Why would I ever go to Edmonton since you let go of the Oilers?
Really? Don't listen to him.
And sent them to L.A. As if. I bring my son across the way. He's like, ooh. We're hockey fans. What can I say? I would love to go to Edmonton. I've only been a few places across the border. Windsor. And a few others. So we're hoping this summer to maybe go up to Calgary or something like that. Do a road trip from the homestead up north. Zaf says, Mark Serbu did a video about the KB. In my personal opinion, the 50 is not designed to safely deconstruct if you get a bad round, but it was engineered to safely fire a 50.
Not deconstruct, it's destruct.
Oh, destruct if you get a... I don't know. Do you like the X-Lock system? I've not tried it. I've only seen schematics and videos on it, but it looks like a pretty good system, and it's one of the things I've always hated about grinders. I hate getting out the spanner and trying to... It just seems like... I mean, for me, it just seems like there could have been an easier way to do that, and the X-Lock system proves that there is. Paul St. Marie says, is going to cost you an arm and a leg. I went pricing metric drills a long time ago. Around getting a set of taps and drills from Chicago Latrobe that only had the useful sizes. Oof. Matthew says, I live my happy spouse, happy house. It goes both ways, and my wife would agree. Yep. Steven says, would you recommend a set of swivel sockets over universal joint adapters by Harbor Freight? I found a little extra stimmy money. I think that, in my experience, swivel sockets would... I would have to think that they would... Depends on how they're engineering. But I'd have to think that they would be stronger than a universal joint. If I'm not mistaken, Torque Test Channel did a video on it. Torque Test Channel's here. Why don't you comment? You probably know more about this than I do. The universal joint is good for making turns, but I don't think it would hold up well under impact.
It's top of the hour.
It's top of the hour, which means it's time for you, yes, you, to adopt your very own mod. That's choose from any fine selection of mods with their cobalt blue wrench behind their name. And the reason we ask this is because many of our mods are creators in their own right. And we like to support the channel. We've been doing this for a long time, and we try to uplift the entire YouTube creator community. So if you're a mod, by the way, now's a great time to post a link in the thing down below. By the way, let me do this. Da-da-dum. There. Torque Test Channel, you're now a mod, so you can post a link if you want. And you guys can all post a link down to your channel so people can check it out. Some people have a lot of content. Some people have very little. But anyway, feel free to go check it out. Let me know, and not let me know, but leave a like, a message, or comment, share, subscribe, all that great stuff. Also want to say a huge thank you to everyone who supported with the Super Chats tonight. You all are fantastic. Also a huge thank you to all of our Den of Tools members. That's everyone with the bear behind their name. It's kind of like Patreon, but it's built into YouTube. Information on that is in the video description below. All right, let me catch up here because I know I'm way behind by this point.
Hey, Kenneth.
Kenneth.
He's in Henderson.
Oh, really?
I'm waving, although I'm
Can you see us from there? Oh. Fred says, Bear, went shopping this weekend to shop for a dishwasher and barbecue pellet smoker. We're going to go with Pit Boss. It's the Laredo 1000. It's the same smoker you have. That's awesome, man. I love mine. I did say that I wish I would have had a separate smoker and gas because I have the full size for both, but I don't have the space for it, which is the reason why I got the combo. And it's, like any kind of compromise kind of thing, it is what it is. But I absolutely love that grate on it where you can pull it aside, you get access to the depths of hell fire pit, and you can char stuff, which you can't do on a lot of smokers, or a lot of pellet grills at least. Chris says, Knob Creek is even better when it's free. Yeah, what's the best kind of bourbon? Free bourbon. I had a birthday last month, a lot of Kentucky straight bourbons for gifts. That is nice. Oh. That's some good friends that you got there. Mike says, just ordered the Bosch 12-volt brushed drill and impact kit, one something small, any experience. That's a great little setup. And the nice thing is Bosch has a decent 12-volt system. You can expand, get some other stuff to go with it. Keep an eye or join the Facebook group, because when that other Bosch 12-volt stuff goes on sale, we like to post it over there. So you'll be able to find some other stuff at some good prices there. Who makes a good 3/8 impact? Oh man, lots of people do. Makita, Milwaukee. I heard the new little 12-volt from the brushless 12-volt from DeWalt's good. The Bauer makes a decent home one. Cobalt makes a great one. Ryobi makes a decent one. There's a lot of good ones out there. Let's see here. Talk about the Axlock system. Maker's Mark time. Just bought the 24-volt Cobalt trimmer and blower. Very surprised by the power. Love them both. They're decent around the house kind of stuff, aren't they? James Cooper says, what's going on, Bear Family? Got TTL in the background. We're working on my Gen 1 Lightning. Do you guys happen to see... Oh, Gen 1 Lightning. That's nice. Do you happen to see that $100-ish half-inch DeWalt impact deal from Northern Tool? I did not see that. I'll have to take a look at it, see if I can find it for Deals of the Week tomorrow. Seth says, we're still seeing shortages and delayed ship times on plastic extrusion-related products at Menards. Toolboxes, shelving, fencing, you name it. Everything's delayed, man. Everything. Who has the best Father's Day tool deal? Is it worth the wait? I have found that Father's Day does not generally have the best tool days or best tool deals so much as Memorial Day. Has Princess Jamie been in the room? I have not seen her tonight.
I have not seen her, but I want to say that she was working on a project.
Jeff McGee says, sorry, I was just getting ready for some work from Washington. Nick says, for those who would dare spread heresy and smut in this chat, know the Emperor's Holy Inquisition is watching. It will not hesitate to act. Cleanse them with this burning flame is what I'm guessing. Let's see here. Mark Olson, poke. Nice. Let's see. Brushless Craftsman is underrated. Torque Test Shell says the brushless Craftsman is underrated. Well, I've got a set on order. I don't think it has the impact in it, though. I'll have to take a look at that.
Sorry, this is not at the den of... whatever. I'm reading it. The Z-Funk says, Menards told me this weekend that Tuesday the 2x4s are going over $10.
Oh.
Did you see that thing I sent you?
I'm never building another thing again.
Nope.
I saw a post on the Facebook page that said, I'm considering selling my house for parts.
Yeah.
Mike Adams says, sorry I'm late. Was watching The Mask with my niece. Ooh.
I saw that. That was
That's some
super
heavy
cool.
cinema. Let's see here.
And don't ever be sorry for doing family stuff. We understand.
Steven says, looking forward to Deals of the Week tomorrow. Thanks for putting that together for us. No problem. It's a lot of fun to put that one together. Fry Guy says, this is for Mrs. Bear. Want to buy a good vacuum cleaner. What's a good one for the house? Well, that's sexist. What makes you think I don't clean the house?
He does buy the vacuums.
I'm going back to my whiskey.
He buys the vacuums.
I fix the vacuums, too.
Yes. It's been a while since we've got... What's the one that we've had since Duncan was born?
Shark?
Was it?
The stand-up one we had in Newman?
No, the one that Amanda had, that you got...
The Dyson.
Dyson.
Yeah.
We liked that one, or we like that one.
Dyson, don't buy new ones, but you can get factory refurbs at good deals. Shark vacuums are good.
Yeah, we've liked Sharks. And I'm assuming your question is a good vacuum cleaner. So I'm assuming you mean like for your house, not for your shop. I will think about that.
Fred Hill says, Bear, remember when Sears Craftsman was around and it was like a men's toy store? I do. That's why I'm so sad that it was gone. Kevin says, do you think job site radios are a waste of money? Yeah, honestly, I think they are. I think you're better off just buying a good, solid radio that's going to have good sound. If you got there's very few job sites where you need, at least that I've been to, where there's not power. If there's not power, then there's a generator. If you need to get a battery-powered one, you have to be at a place where there's none of that. I just bought one, though. I got the Craftsman one that goes with my VersaStack system. It's kind of cool. It has better sound than any of the other stuff that I've tried recently. I will say that for it. But it's nothing to write home about.
Barbecue76 with a $5.76
Woo-hoo!
super chat said, Mrs. DeBear is taking a double shot from, the bottle. Mr. Bear, I'm like, why do we have baby bottles? Mr. Bear is drinking. Mrs. Bear, do it. You can thank me later. Mr. Bear, you can thank me later. Mrs. Bear, you're up. Nope. My tummy is not a happy camper.
She doesn't ever drink bourbon. She doesn't like it. Barbecue76 says, bleep and YouTube is censoring my messages. This is the worst thing I'm going to say. What the bleep? I can't even super chat clean stuff. What the bleep? Bet you see this, though. I did see that.
What is
Sorry.
that big C?
I don't know. Copyright or not? Yeah, copyright.
That's a lot of symbols.
Gary says, good evening. Good evening. Everyone running late, took long, then wanted to take a snowblower off and put the mower back on the cub. May have to mow next weekend. Ooh. Mike says, great response to my post about MCT. I don't like talking about it. I don't like dealing with it. And honestly, if people hadn't come to my channel and started spreading BS everywhere and on the Facebook page and other places, I wouldn't have had to say anything. But I want people to be honest. Yeah. He did a video first calling out everyone who got Flex Tools. I got Flex Tools. I made no agreement that I would review anything in any way, shape, or form, and they didn't ask. Nobody does. The only companies that ever ask, like, well, we want to get a positive review, right, and we want to see the video before you post it, and all, are these little Amazon seller startups that you've never heard of before, because they don't know how the industry works.
Well, and also they typically have a product that isn't...
That's crap, and
right,
they know
that
it.
Isn't going to appear well, so that's what they're trying to manipulate.
And I tell them, like, I had some company approach me recently. I'm like, they said, we want you to review this tool and we'll give it to you for free. I'm like, that's adorable. And no, I'm not interested in reviewing your tool. I said, because you don't sell through Amazon. You only sell through your website. I don't know who you are. You guys could just be scamming people.
Right.
And I said, to be honest, you don't want me to review that tool because I can tell you just by looking at it from here on the internet, it looks like a piece of junk. And I'm going to say to people, it's a piece of junk. You need to go and fix your business and come back and try and do it right. Sam says, I should have about the corded. Neil says, feels like high school with all the drama. Can't be mental. I hate drama. It makes me ill. I absolutely hate this stuff. And I do wish people would just be honest and forthright about this kind of thing. Then there wouldn't be any of this drama. Frank says, sorry I'm late. Glad to see you. Andrew says, it's a Bloody Mary kind of night. I have no idea why people are still amazed that Biden lied to them. Not even gonna.
Yep.
As I said, drama. But I do love when the media tries to sit there and say, it was the best speech ever. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Okay, but we're not talking about that.
Like, they could all see it. It's freaking Pravda. Not an expert. Hey, Jeff and Jesse, hope all is well. Working on finishing up my videos and dropping numero uno. Stay tuned. Looking forward to seeing it. Eclectic Handyman says, just order 3 to 4 things on Sears Online this week. Their hosting servers are unbearable. Their servers are slow. They really are. Probably hosting it off of, like, was it Yahoo or something. Don't let Man Caver get to you. He's sick and he knows it. DIY Dad does Cobalt Flex have a modular stacking system in the works? I want the Ryobi version, but you know why I can't get that. I want the Ryobi version. Gosh, we all want the Ryobi version. Only, I have some contacts in Australia. I reached out to them. They said they can't find it there anymore either. Flex has one in Europe. I've asked them if it's coming here. And they said, and I quote, anything's possible. Anyway.
That was very informative.
It was very informative. Be kicking you, where is possible, too. Let's see here. Clint says, I want to thank the Bear for the recent video regarding Hart Power Tools at Wally World. I have to admit, I have several, and I'm interested in the glue gun and the stick vacs. Me too. Our house up in Montana is pretty small, but it's an old house. We get a lot of dust because it's all plaster and stuff. We have hardwood floors and carpets, area rugs that collect dust, and a dog that sheds freaking everywhere, and it will kill most vacuums. And I'm thinking about getting one for up there, especially like they have a system that you bolts to your wall and you just hang it on the wall, and that way it's always in the same place. It's always charged. You grab it and go. I'm going to get the power washer. I will admit, I'm going to reach out to my contact at Hart and beg him for a free one, but if not, I'll buy one because I am that excited about it. And I reached out to a couple guys, 2 different groups I know of overlanders here in the Vegas area, and they both are like stupid excited about it. They're like, that's the solution right there.
I think it was Mike that said he was going. He said, what a great stream. Good night. Have a great night, Mike, and thank you again for your super chat. Christian with a $5 super chat says, last week you reminded me of Uncle Ben. With great power comes great responsibility. Mean that in a great way. Plus, Home Depot did the same thing to me today. I know, I have been hearing from so many people. Yes, it's a problem.
Yeah. We said Uncle Ben. I thought we're going the old mountain men thing here, wrestling with the bear. Remember that old TV show? Nope, she doesn't remember it. We remember, don't we?
I know what you're talking about.
Pepper's Farm remembers.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Hey, Jeff
I'm
Chewy
spilling
says,
bourbon on myself.
Jeff Chewy says,
Jeff!
Howdy from Montana.
Come and save me.
Almost bonfire time.
Haul me back to Montana. I got to get out of here. It's getting too warm here. I need to go.
It is so warm here, let me tell you.
Thanks again, Christian. That's my thing. I'm drinking for every super chat. She hates it when I do that. You got a cute little... She has an adorable scowl face, doesn't she? She gets that little scowl on. So cute.
I'm going to pick one of them.
I want to pinch your cheeks.
And then, you've lost your mind. And then, nope. Living dangerously.
Can you use the X-Lock on regular angle grinders? I don't believe so. I believe it has to be built into the angle grinder itself. Mark says, don't poo-poo corded stuff. I don't. In fact, I've done whole videos saying you should consider corded stuff. Because, let's be honest, there's a lot of tools that never get more than 20 feet from an outlet. There's a lot of tools that, or when you have it on the job site, it sits where it is. Okay? The, recip saw, you carry all over a place. But often, unless you're up and doing rafter cuts, depending on how you do it, circ saw sits in one spot where you bring everything down to cut. So having a corded one, I have corded tools. I don't have a problem with corded tools, especially my bigger tools, rotary hammer, stuff like that, all corded. I say the same thing about brush tools. People are like, "Oh, I have to have brushless," blah blah blah. I'm like, they didn't have brushless when I built houses. Still managed to do it.
Mater, you're right. Says Mrs. DeBear will be like a Dodge and ram him.
Too much ram, not enough dodge. Love that joke. Mike says, "Don't you know? You didn't know you guys were 2A. We're more than 2A. I've taught so many people to shoot, and taken so many friends and people who didn't know, and there tons of people we get involved in the sport.
Well, it's all about education.
And even people who think they're 2A that I've hung out with, and I teach them to shoot safely. Teach them to follow proper range etiquette, like, hey, saying the range is hot, range is cold. You know, before you shoot, everyone got eyes and ears on. You know, because some people I hung out with, they didn't do stuff like that, and they thought, oh, this is kind of corny and stuff. And next thing they know, they're like, oh, I get this now. Because as somebody goes to walk down range, I'm like, dude, that's the reason we say this stuff. And they're like, oh, I'm like, unless you want to catch a round in the ass.
And... He forgot we were family friendly. Chris, thank you for the $3.99 super chat. Drinking game for super chats. I'm game. Chris, I love you, but I'm thinking about beating you.
It has almost a Scotch kind of hint to it. Like there's a little touch of peat in there.
I love that he keeps telling me about it. This is the face of I don't care.
That's interesting. Pat Dude says, love the show, keep it up. Could I trouble you for a shout out? I'm trying to get to 5K subs, no trouble. Pat Dude, 1979, shout it out. The Cabela's guy, what would you recommend for a dust mask for a weekend worker? I use 3M. I don't know. I just buy the 3M masks with the reusable filters on it. And you want to get something that's got, is it 1 or 2 micron on it? Especially if you're doing woodworking, you got to worry about like dust collectors. Dust collectors are not for air filtration control. Dust collectors collect debris and keep your shop clean. You need an air filter if you want to have truly good air quality control. And for me, I always work with the garage door up or something and just try to get all of that outside. Mike says it's awesome. Mike Adams says, can you suggest a low cost but decent, thin, open end wrench? I had to grind a wrench down to hold the stuff. I've done that. I have definitely been there. I think the thinnest ones I found are not cheap, and that's SK. Other than that, I would just buy another set of what do you call it? Husky. Because they're pretty small to begin with, and do just what you did, grind them down.
Chris G10 was saying, what are you drinking again? The way you explained its taste has me intrigued. And of course, I wasn't paying attention. Flint Lock.
You want to guess why I bought it now? There was a couple, there were like 5 new ones. I saw that one, like Flintlock. Got to get the Flintlock. 88 proof. I generally like it between 90 and 110 proof. Anything under 90 is usually a little too girly, if you know what I mean.
Oh, shush. I'm going to hit you with something heavy.
Anything over 110 is usually too hot. You can't really taste it. It's like chili. If you make the chili too hot, you can't taste the chili. But if you don't have enough kick in it, then what's the point? So, anyway, I'd never heard of this before. I think this might be made in... I don't have my old man glasses. I think it might be... Wait, look, right here. Is that made in Michigan?
Okay.
You could just give me a second to point it out. Or Wisconsin. That's Wisconsin, not Michigan. Or I'm just making stuff up.
I think it does start with an M, but it's neither of those. Neither of those.
What is it?
Spirit of Minnesota Territory.
Minnesota! I knew it was up around there.
You knew it was an M.
I did. I'm usually really good with geography. I've been drinking. It's on my phone.
The Minnesota Territory of 1788 was one of fur
the Iron Mountain area?
farmers, In lagers.
Somebody else was just commenting on the fact I mentioned Iron Mountains the other day. Let's see here. Do you know which chop saw has the best dust collection? I sure do. That would be the Festool. The Bosch has good collection as well. It really does. It's not nearly as good as the Festool. The Montreal is amazing. My stepson goes to college there. Oh, that's cool.
Where is amazing? Oh,
Montreal. Paul St. Marie says, not half as bad as my French. I've never been to the ancestral city. With a name like Paul St. Marie, and he doesn't speak a Z language. Dude.
Hey. Whatever.
My French is probably really bad at this point. It's too funny. So, for those of you who don't know, I actually was born in Germany, in Heidelberg, lived in Stuttgart, moved to the U.S. when I was like 4-ish or something, and I ran into one of the viewers makes a comment that he's from Germany, said, but he lived in Stuttgart. I'm like, oh, well, I lived in Stuttgart too. He goes, oh, do you speak German? And I'm like, no. And the reality is, when I was in school, when I was young, I always thought German was stupid and it was ugly. It was real guttural. And I wanted to learn French when I went to school because I wanted to be all suave and talk to the ladies in French and stuff like that.
Why does everyone think that French automatically gets you with the ladies?
Obviously, you've never spoken French. But now that I'm older, I'm an adult, and I have children and stuff, I'm actually trying to trying to relearn German so I can, help the kids and teach them, the ancestral tongue and all that kind of stuff. So, fingers crossed I can get back on my... I was doing great last summer. This past 3 months, I've kind of gotten off my training.
Yeah. Mr. Is it J. Ruda? Okay, probably totally butchered your name. Says, my son is in Stuttgart right now. Army.
Oh.
Awesome. Thank your son.
My father was the U.S. 7th Army. I was actually born on the base in Heidelberg at the military hospital. Hence the point in my head, because they didn't have time to wait, so they just grabbed the tongs like, he's coming out now.
Whatever, you're here.
It's a noble crest of a ridge of a head, don't you think? Spectre Air says, hey Bear Family, have you ever used or heard anything about the Carlisle P-Rex pliers, which look to be a clone of the Knipex? I have not, but I've looked at a lot of the Carlisle stuff, and I've actually thought it to be quite nice. A little pricey, but when it's on sale, it's not half bad for the money. Mater says, that's like sending the Oilers to Houston, or from Houston to Tennessee. I know. Who would do such a thing? The Tennessee Oilers, that was hilarious. At least they changed the name. Let's see here. Linda is flexing on me, saying that she saw Gretzky play in L.A. with the Kings. Must be nice.
We should see.
Oh yeah, well I had a Gretzky shirt at one point. I think I was 14 or something. I started playing hockey when I was 12 in Iowa, in Des Moines. We played pickup hockey in the park, and then I actually played leagues also. Man, I miss skating. Ed C says, how come mine is the only name you don't say when you read my chat? Saying Ed C, that hard? I did just say it, didn't I? Sorry, I don't try to skip people. Sometimes I just get in a rhythm or I'm caught up, I'm trying to catch up, and I'll just read what you said. Sorry. That's my Canadian accent.
Okay.
Keith said, what do you think about
he's taken, in case anyone's confused or thinking he's on the... Nope, he's all mine. All that.
He says, what do you think about getting a mag drill versus a drill press? The mag drill, those are the ones that big beefy things that clamp on magnetically to whatever your workpiece. Well, if what you're working on isn't metal, that could be a problem. They look super cool, and I have tried many times to justify buying one. And I'll tell you what, the very second I can justify it, I will own one. What?
Ooh, sorry.
But I haven't gotten to that point yet.
I am not sure how to say this. Is it patud? Pat Dude 1979 says, "What phrase would you like to hear in French? I'm from Quebec, so you get a free phrase in French." So what I would like to know is, how do you say I'm a French? How do you say I'm a French cowboy? What do you want to know?
Well, if I want to know something in French, I'm going to ask somebody from France. I mean, what does somebody from Quebec know about French? Oh, my gosh. Okay, I'm teasing. I'm kidding.
I'll reach out and flies. I'm just saying. Anyways, thank you so much. And please tell me how to say your screen name. Is it Pat Dude 1979? Or is it Pat Dude?
Pat Dude?
Pat Dude?
You gotta say it with a French accent.
Okay, I don't speak French, so I don't have a French accent.
I think cowboy is cowboy, isn't it?
I don't know.
This is an English word.
I don't know. I don't speak
American
French.
Word.
Maybe there's a French word for cowboy.
What are your thoughts on Torn bottle jacks? I've not used them, so I can't really say anything about them. I don't know anybody who's commented on them, so I have zero reference when it comes to those. Kenneth says hello from Henderson. We're looking. Hey, if you see any houses, good sized houses for rent down there, let me know. We're looking to get something in the Henderson, Boulder City area. James Cooper says Maynard's for sexiest mod. Nice.
Hey, Jennifer White Wolf. I know that you had to leave and then you came back and now you have to leave again.
Wait, she's leaving?
It's like,
It won't be the same without her.
I think it's like work or something. Well. We all get it. So totally understand. Love you. Maybe we'll see you again.
Have a good one. I cannot find Top Tool for purchase everywhere. Any advice besides eBay? Top Tool. I don't even know what that is. Top Tool?
I really do like learning other languages. I mean, I was being silly about I'm a French cowboy.
I've never heard of Top Tool. They look like one of these Amazon brands, honestly. I'll leave the link up and I'll try and find it, but I've never heard of them.
Kenneth says Across the Street is going up for sale. I'm assuming he's in Henderson.
We were looking to... I kind of want to wait. We were looking to maybe rent something, because we're renting right now. And we were looking to rent something... If we move right now, it would be for rent. We want to wait until next year, build up a little bit more capital, and then buy something. Jennifer says, Snap-on used to make black impact-rated universal joints at 3/8 and half. I have one of them, made different than regular universal. Bay Creeper says, change the subject. What generator brand do you use? I'm looking for one in the case of emergency. I have the Predator from Harbor Freight. I've got what used to be the big boy, the 9000. I'm honestly thinking about selling it and getting the new big 9000 inverter because it's super quiet and it's more compact and portable and stuff. So, yes.
I know it's out of order. Llama, I think, is saying that in French, but I can't read French. Like, I can't...
Je suis un cowboy français, ici mon house. Mon house? I am a French cowboy, and it is... I don't know what the mon hours is.
Thank you. Oh. Je suis un...
Je suis un cowboy François. I am a French cowboy. Voila.
Thank you.
Voila is... There it is, I believe.
I don't know. Anyways, sorry, I get tickled with languages.
John Gonzalez says, it's worth buying an SDS drill for drilling railroad ties for rebar or just use a regular drill and spade bit. Depends on how much you're going to do it. If you're going to do it a whole bunch, I would get... I don't know if you need an SDS drill for railroad. I mean, it's not the hardest lumber in the world. But you probably want to get like a big full-size drill, probably like a quarter drill or something like that, or maybe even a hammer drill. SDS might be overkill. The Marks, when did the best find by Revy? We talked about that. Just got a Pit Boss combo, and it's awesome. Kenneth says that's good. That's another reason I'm looking forward to getting back to our house in up north, because that's where my Pit Boss is, and I'm looking forward to grilling more stuff. Still got some deer in the freezer. Hope it lasts. Hope it's not freezer burned.
Llama was explaining. It says, "And this is my bear." They did a Google of the French,
but
that makes sense. That does make sense. That would be bear.
Yet to use my 2010 bottle jack. A little skeptical concerning Torrent. Nice case. Christopher says Lowe's clearance find Metabo D13 VF half-inch quarter drill with 9 amp hour of power, $35. There you go. That's the deal. Lachette Bot Linda says I'm gonna get haters, but I'm looking for a manual nut driver set, millimeter nut SAE that goes up to 13. Why would you get haters? I used to use those when I worked on electronics a lot. Manual nut driver sets are the bomb. That being said, though, you could. Well, I guess if you want hollow shaft, look at Tecton. Tecton's got a good set of manual nut drivers with hollow shafts. Jennifer Whitewolf, 9/10 of the planet is on back order or price gouging. Yep.
Lumber
but
remember, is bananas.
Remember, there is no inflation. You didn't see that. Travis says, any word on if, when Harbor Freight will come out with a one-handed recip? No, somebody asked that last week. I've got no info on that. Mike says Harbor Freight sells impact-grade universal adapters. I think they're also self-impact-grade universal sockets as well. I've seen both. Did Torque Test weigh in on that? I'm pretty sure they did a video on them. Kenneth Sims says, guy across the street's moving. Oh, that's one. Has a dumpster with strand board. Is that new copper? Ooh. Linda says, hilarious. Love my Shark. Hated my Dyson. We had the Dyson Pet one. And, for the price for factory refurb, it was great.
That is one thing that I will say. If you find a vacuum or look for it to see if you can get a refurbished version. We're always trying to find the way that is most cost effective.
I'll be honest, on a lot of stuff that we buy, before we buy new, we look to see if there's a factory refurbished. I'm not big on buying like third party refurbished, but factory refurbished with full warranty, I'll give it a shot.
The other thing is to clean it. Like a lot of people don't clean their vacuums. They just vacuum and then they're like, I don't know, it doesn't spin anymore. Make sure you flip it over, and if you have pets or long hair, cut the hair out. And then the other thing is go and have it serviced. Not it doesn't have to be anything fancy, like $10, $20, and they'll just clean the inside and make it, work really well.
That's what I do. If you're handy, of course, that's something you can do yourself. But if you're not, take it, get it serviced. It's like, she says, $20 or something?
Yeah, there's a place here at the swap meet that we can do it. But a lot of times, places that do sewing machine repairs or dry cleaners also offer that service. Or shoe cobblers. Shoe repair.
Elves?
Yes. If you have elves employed in your neighborhood.
Or apparently leprechauns.
Pete S. Oh my gosh. Pete S. with the $10 super chat. Thank you for the advice on the chop saw dust collection. I was looking for the Festool chop saw, and I think that's the way to go to. Awesome.
Well, let me put it to you this way. After I finished chewing out my eyes, after I did that video and talked about the Festool, I had a guy who chimed in he's a general contractor, and he does rehab stuff for existing homes where they come in and they redo kitchens and stuff, and he's got about a dozen contractors who work underneath him, and he in the last year changed the requirements for all their jobs that they all have to use Festool because of the dust collection. It is so good that they can go in and they never have any complaints about dust and debris everywhere. He's like, I don't care how much it costs. He's like, it's worth it for my relationship with the homeowner and the money. And he's like, and at first they complained, but then the money they saved in having to do cleanups afterwards is the time they save from it is just astronomical. They all we wish we switched years ago. And I'm the guy who sits here and tells you need to find the best bang for the buck. It hurts to say go out and buy Festool because it's a $1,500 chop saw as opposed to a $300 chop saw. It's that good. I've used one, and it's. I'm not saying it's built like a tank, but it is smooth, and it cuts like butter. And it's not as loud as the other ones either. Fred says we looked at the Traeger pellet smoker first, but the Pit Boss is about $200 to $400 cheaper.
No, they said more.
I think he meant the other. Pit Boss is not more expensive than Traeger. I translated it in my head.
Okay.
I'm going to throw your antlers across the room if you're not careful.
You know, you're not the boss of me.
A certain Goblin Bear is playing in traffic. Not to worry, he just uploaded a video. Griffin.
That was like half
Are
an
you
hour
running
ago.
around in traffic?
What?
Huh? Huh?
What? I didn't just post a new video. What?
Greg says, seen a Facebook post that someone got a 1x12x16 seater for $84 a board. Oh,
Please subscribe.
good grief. I'm going to start dealing lumber.
Like those ones where they're like, they show you how, I know what I got.
Yeah. David G says, any experience with Harbor Freight plasma cutter or other metal cutting tool recommendations for welding? No. But I can tell you that I've talked to several folks on the channel who have them. In fact, Justin Dow has I believe he's got the green one, the titanium plasma cutter. I believe he's got that, and he likes that one a lot. I've heard nothing but good things about them. I'm not a welding expert or plasma cutting expert. I wish I was. I wish I had more time, but there's only so many things I can get hands on with. Hercules, return on clearance with another 50% off, $25 for 5 $25 battery charge, only 5 days return policy. Thoughts? Oh, I'm guessing open box. This is Ben Sifit. I'm guessing open box, 50% off for that price. I would do it. 5-day return policy. Take it home, run, charge it, use it, deplete it, charge it again. As long as it's all working, good stuff. Matt says Torque Test Channel is one of my favorites, one of my new favorites. Ken says, I hear that Tim and Al are back. Get ready to review. They're doing some sort of reality show. It's like that cook-off thing where they bring contestants in to build stuff and then they judge it. And I watched it. I was not impressed, and I'm bummed because I was looking forward to it. What's the best bourbon you've ever had? My favorite is Elijah Craig when it comes to the 12-year-old statement.
I know this one.
I've had the Elijah Craig. It's good. I like Wild Turkey is like a daily drinker for me. My top shelf daily drinker is probably whatchamacallit, Woodford's Reserve. I've had some really good single barrel kind of stuff, but honestly the best is the stuff I make. Michael says, love your show. Thanks for doing what you do. Is the Cobalt Wet Dry Vac worth the $99 price tag? Will it ever go on sale? Yes, it will go on sale. And honestly, I think it's worth the price.
When you no longer get free pallets, then wood prices are completely insane.
Yeah, no doubt. Trolling for $1 says, please no politics on the stream or Mrs. DeBear will smack you.
That's right. With the smelly fish. Daughter of Ra, we see you.
Haha, sneaking in late as always. John says, I'm new to your channel and home improvement game. I'm looking for a decent yet affordable latex paint sprayer. What are your suggestions? I have the Wagner one, the nice kit, all in a box. Sorry about the Smurf behind me.
Hey,
somebody asked, what's up with his hair? I'm like, he wanted to do it. What do I care?
And it's just hair.
It's just hair.
And it's not permanent.
Yeah, it washes out, apparently.
Not washing this out.
The latex paint sprayer. So for latex, best thing for latex is honestly to get an airless system. And Harbor Freight makes probably the best cheap airless paint sprayer out there. But the reality is, if you're only doing occasional stuff, go to Home Depot and rent one. They're dirt cheap to rent.
Daughter Ra, I'm super sorry. Her head feels like someone filled it full of silly putty.
Steve, why would you do such a thing?
I'm guessing allergies?
Yeah. Mike says, what a great stream tonight. Good night. Good night, Mike. You have a good one. Fred says, I'm watching the hunting YouTube videos. What do you think, Bear? Don't understand anyone who goes hunting in bear country without a firearm to stop the bear. I see the 454, the 500. I've done a lot of research on this. I had the 454 Casull, the Alaskan, the short-barreled one, and shooting that thing, I got big bear hands. All right, I'm not a small guy, and I've shot a lot of stuff. I hated shooting that gun. And there I said the G word. You made me see the G word. I hope you're happy. In fact, after we would finish classes, because we had to do two-day classes in California for the CCW stuff. And one of the things I would do for the people who, because we get a lot of new people, a lot of people who didn't have a wide, they didn't have the kind of background, didn't grow up around them and stuff like that. So I would bring out most of my collection of hand paper punches, as we call it. And after everyone finished the course, I'd do an extra half an hour letting people basically test drive a bunch of different things so they could see what they liked. And as a little added bonus, I'd bring out the 454. One person usually would try it. Everyone else would see it, and everyone would be like, nope, don't want it. No, I'm like, and I'm offering ammo for free, and it's like $1 a shot at that point. And I don't blame them, because it was terrible to shoot. It was slow. Super slow. Here's what I found. 45, not even 45, 9mm. Here's what your best bet is. Instead of getting 5 or 6 shots of tank ammo, get some plus P ball ammo. Not Hydroshock or Black Talons or any kind of hollow tip or anything. You want fully coated, because it's going to have more penetration, because bear fat is can be like that thick, and that's often what protects them. So you get the plus P for the extra oomph, and you get it cased so that it will slick as goose snot right through there. And then now you've got, in like say a Glock or any other polymer, you've now got 16, 17 rounds. And there is a point where quantity equals quality. And when you're like, oh my God, get away from me, is that point. And you want fast, sting. And I've done a lot of research into people who survived, and 9mm is the one that saved most of them. Anyway, this is my 2 points. It's your skin, but no, I would not go out, even with the long gun, I definitely would not go out without a sidearm. I won't go fishing in Montana without a sidearm nearby.
You're really behind.
I know. All right, we're going to play a catch-up game because I'm really behind, and we got just a few minutes left. The Axe 3 Crafter says, if you could only have one branded tool, what would it be? I'm guessing you're going to say you're meaning power tools here. And for power tools, if I'm buying it, it's my money. In the situation I'm in now, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a semi-retired kind of person doing stuff for the house and whatnot. I would have Cobalt. Howdy from Montana. Almost bonfire time. Jeff Toohey. Can't wait, man. We got to get together, have some drinks, cook some food. Mike Adams says, I have a couple of inherited ball and socket impact style adapters. Half-inch 3-inch. They have Taiwan printed on them. I tried them. They work good. I just seen Cobalt makes them too. Not an expert says, what other companies will follow Hart and make a power rinser? Looks like Sunjo already has one that's very similar. Different form factor. I don't like it nearly as much. Steven says, what are your thoughts on plug-in electric impacts for things like taking off tires and general automotive work? If you're doing basic stuff at home, why not spend $50, get a good basic plug-in impact, and extension cords are cheap and they're very useful. Spilling bourbon is party foul. Get a yellow card for that. Keith says, Mike's Hard Lemonade kind of night was whiskey last night. On a good hot day, Mike's Hard Lemonade can be pretty nice. I'm a big fan of hard lemonade. Michael says, hey kids, was committing an act of sociability. Haven't done that in a while. That's awesome. Good for you, man. Antonio says, you can use X-Lock blades on a standard angle grinder. I use X-Lock blades for me. Sorry, I guess I took that wrong. You can, but they're not X-locking. You just have to put them on and off via the normal way. And they have to state that they're dual use. Kenneth says, I seen guys crying about no more coupons at Harbor Freight on a Facebook group. I think it will speed up their slow checkout. It'll speed up their slow checkout. They have just as many instant deals as they had coupon deals before, monthly coupon deals. The only thing missing is the 20% off coupon. And most people were bitching that was useless because it's funny. All these guys were bitching that, that thing is useless. I never use it because there's so many items that are unavailable on it. Now it's gone. I'm never shopping there again because they got rid of it. Oh my gosh, what a bunch of children. Robert says, cords and hoses are going to be the death of me one day. I'm constantly tripping over them. Tell me about my size 15 feet. Fred says, I love my Bauer radio. Just picked up the cordless Bauer chainsaw. I think I'm going to stay with Bauer. The one reason I hate corded tools is cutting blasted cords. What are your thoughts on the Aero Precision paper punchers? Aero Precision. It sounds stupidly familiar, but I can't place it for some reason. Oh, the uppers and stuff. You know, I'm not a snob when it comes to that kind of stuff. I pretty much build my own, and I go with what's on sale at the time. I'm not even sure what uppers I have. I've got 5 of them, and they're all different. I think the lowers are all... Are they Stag? They might be Stag. I bought them all at once. I can't remember. Frank says, I love Scotch. I'm actually not a huge fan of Scotch. It tastes too much like the home and garden department. All that peat moss. Andrew says, Jeff, what's a modular tool storage system you would recommend for just starting out home remodeling business? Packet's a little too expensive, so is rigid, husky, DeWalt across. VersaStack / T-Stack. The yellow's DeWalt, the red is Craftsman. They're both intercompatible. As you can see, I've got my Craftsman radio built in here. We got the single drawer system, double drawer system. I just knocked over a bunch of stuff. We were supposed to have a garage sale this weekend. Didn't happen. What are you drinking again? We explained that. I don't like people who claim to be 2A, but will forgive industry companies that sell out or patronize anti-2A businesses just because they get a good idea or they like the food. Fred says, back in the day when there was jungle juice or plugging watermelons. I never did such a thing. I don't know what you're talking about. That wasn't me. You can't prove it. $24 says, cheap dust filter system. 20-inch box fan with a square 20-inch AC filter duct tape to it. It'll get the job done. It's not perfect because it really reduces the airflow. Chris says, thank you. I'll have to try it. And Joshua says, I like the Maker's Mark limited release. Maker's Mark's not bad. It's a little too... I like my bourbon to have a kick. You know, it's supposed to be a frontier drink. It's not like Scotch that's been aged for 17 years and can vote. John says, hello, I'm late. John says, I'm German, Polish, and Puerto Rican. Woo! Don't speak any. Oh, I got a friend who is... His parents were off the boat from China. He's first generation U.S. They ran a Chinese restaurant in New York, but they wanted him to grow up speaking English. So they only taught him English. But they don't speak English that well, and they have a terrible Chinese accent. So he has a thick Chinese accent and barely speaks Chinese. Poor guy. I know it's bad when you try to pronounce Le Chatbot. Le Chatbote. Kenneth says, I served in Germany. Justin says, will you guys be resuming Jeff? We talked about that. Antonio says, before I got married, me speaking Italian got me more ladies than speaking French. Lots of languages that are more romantic than French. Touche. Man, I'm way behind.
Super behind.
Fred says, the first party I went to overseas, I had them make me a rum and coke. Would guess about 80 plus, but he mixed it with 151, put me on my tail. Good Everclear, and 181. That'll do it. Pat Dude says, what phrase would you... We talked about that. Remember the Slapshot? The movie Slapshot. Love that movie. I like the jazz in Utah. That's an oxymoron, isn't it? Hello. Oh, wait. Can we... Wait. Whoa. Hi. The Labrador wanted to say hi. How are you? How are you? Hi. Say hi. Go over here. Go over here. Nope. You're not climbing in my lap, dog.
She says that she is.
Okay, down. Good girl. Go lick somebody else. Mom used to watch Gordie Howe because she was in Michigan. Oh, wow. I would have had Eastman, Shanahan, or Fedorov shirt as a kid. What's the Bears' go-to donut spot? I don't do that anymore. I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to go keto. Jose Contreras says, Cobalt 12-inch sliding Marisar Hercules. I would get the Hercules and let... I think the Hercules is a better sliding miter saw all around. But the Cobalt, when it's on sale, is a good bit cheaper, if I'm not mistaken. I would definitely get that 7.25-inch cordless one that's been on sale for like $100. That's an incredible price. Key says, no, you also keep old plate / tray from a drill press, but you keep the portability, best of both worlds. Or I've never heard of this trick. Sorry, I thought it was more widely known. The Mugrad 2002. Hey, any plans to review the new Hercules job site table saw with rack and pinion fence? When I get back to Montana, because I'm going to do a comparison between the old Hercules and the new one. Jeff, brag, will you? You got pulled out of the tongs at birth. The doctor just said, ew, let me fall on the floor and kicked against the wall. Let's see here. Antonio says the new 9500 inverter generator from Predator's Harbor Freights is smaller than the old model, but it's still 260 plus pounds. Yeah, it's not lightweight. Frank says I'm looking for a new job somewhere. Can't drive for the 9 to 12 hours for my prostate issues. Ooh, I can imagine. Good luck with that. John says I like my Sun Joe sprayer 5-gallon. Antonio says Nick Pixel TV did a video on the 9500 inverter from Predator. The decibel ratings is impressive. He did a sound test. I think I saw that. Fred says our house was at last valued at $600,000. I had a realtor call me for interested in selling due to the price of houses, prices of lumber and availability. Our house could go up. Yeah, but then what are you going to do? I mean, live in a trailer or something because you can't buy something else. It's not like you can sell it for $600 and buy something else for $300. Maybe you can. I don't know. Linda says thanks. Manual. They have thinner walls for smaller nuts. And she says, I agree. I had the pet cleaned it completely all the time. Just a lemon. I threw it out, never looked back. Rapunzel says, got split. Good night. Thanks for a wide variety of information. Andrew says, say what you will about the cost of German stuff. It can be cars, tools, etc. It's actually engineered to a higher level.
It's usually.
I was certainly engineered to a higher level.
Okay, don't
Jim
inflate his
Tech
head
says,
any larger.
I've been screwed by so many contractors. It's very frustrating to find a reliable. Yeah, finding a reliable contractor is about as easy as finding a reliable used car dealer sometimes. Fred says, was just starting saying our house could go up $650,000 to $700,000. It's unreal. More and more, we might just stay here. New homes are going to be double the price. Yep. Crafty Vet Kid says, if you get a chance, buy a bottle of Caribou Crossing. I've had Caribou Crossing. It was all right. I wasn't my thing. Daughter Ross says my head. We talked about that. Steven says blame me. Sure, that's what husbands are for, right? Going to go to a 50 Beowulf. I know a lot of guys did. It was very trendy for a while. I just stick with my 5.56 and 308s. Not an expert. Have you had any issue with low temp control on your pit boss? Some reviewers say that, but hey, I'm not an expert. No, I have not had that issue. Maybe it's because I've got the half and half model or something. It's a smaller pit, so maybe it's easier to control. I do know that some people change the temp reading to bring the thing up higher and do some different stuff too. Fred says the 45 ACP, since it's a garbage can, it's a slow-moving fat hog is what it is. Good for transferring kinetic force, though. Any recommendations on how to adhere 60 by 25 MDF to 60 by 25 a panel 2x4 for a pine workbench? Honestly, what I would do is I would just bolt it. Or I'd use like drywall screws and screw it down so then you can easily remove it and use it as a sacrificial top. I guess you could try and do a T-lock system to do the same thing. That'd be being way fancy with it. What do you think of rigid power tools? I think that they're pretty good. I think the battery systems are just okay. I think the charger systems used to be a lot better. They really cheaped out on the chargers. I don't think they have a wide enough selection of tools compared to what most other systems have, and I don't think they stand behind their LSA agreement. I think they weasel out of it, which is why I don't cover them often on the channel. Are Techno tools worth getting into? Would you know your opinion? I think they are. I think they're fantastic. Just so you know, they have sent me tons of free tools, so full disclosure on that, but I just look at them, man. Just talk to other people. Don't listen to me. Go ask around. I think they're fantastic. Rodney says, hello, my friend from Branson, Missouri. Fred says, hey, decided to have the pit boss shipped to our house. Granted, it's going to cost $49 for ship. That's not bad. For something that size, that's not bad.
Nothing.
Finally saw what an air rifle is, cutting hot knife through butter. Oh, yeah. There are some good ones out there. Zaf says, I'm drinking a little bit of Aborg Akvavit tonight. Oh. Never had that. Gramute, how's it going, Bears? Hey, man, I've been following you on Instagram. By the way, follow us on Instagram, Den of Tools. It used to be Red and Crew. We changed it to Den of Tools. Trying to post a whole lot more. Posted a video from this weekend, a quick one out at the local drift track. Watching this dude just totally go balls to the wall, send it in a BMW. Not great control, but he had 2 speeds. Stopped and flat out. It was hilarious. The Philly Fix is here. Late, but hello. Happy Sunday to you. Happy Sunday to you, too. That's another great channel to go check out. Go check out Philly Fixed. Fred Hill says, I heard a rumor. I was told Home Depot and Lowe's will stop carrying lumber. Don't know if this is true. I sincerely doubt that. Somebody told me recently that Lowe's might start carrying auto parts. I'm like, where are they going to wedge an AutoZone in the Lowe's? Maybe if they get rid of the lumber department. I don't know. Gramute says, my daughter and her boyfriend went home early this time, so I was able to catch you guys. Well, I'm glad you're spending time with him. That's awesome. Vincent says, why are there so many more dual power cordless tools? Why aren't there more? Yeah. Brother, you're preaching to the choir. I say all the time. That's the thing I liked about that power washer I was talking about, the rinser, that it's cordless and 12 volt. I love flexible power solutions. I really, really do. Client Graphics in the house. Chris, my man. Did you decide if you're coming out for whatchamacallit? For Work Concrete? Hey, Princess. Come over here and say hi.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, not you, Princess. Go. Ooh. Get dog slobber all over me.
Duncan, take the dog inside and stop eating on your sister, please.
Go inside, Bella. No.
The Fred says, for bears, would 12-gauge slug work on big game? It would, but man, that's a slow rate of fire for something that's pissed off and coming at you. And I think we're caught up. It's 7:02. That means we're caught up. So, Seth says, Lowe's is trying the Menards method. Just keep putting in more into the store. I love shopping at Menards. There's so much stuff there. PT says, hi, Princess Bear. Mike says, hi, kids. Concrete says, no World of Concrete, but maybe SEMA. Got to come out for SEMA, brother. We're going to have a good time. I got rooms for World of Concrete, so I'm going to be down there at the Venetian. We're definitely going to do probably the same thing, maybe someplace even closer for SEMA. We're going to have a big event for SEMA. Michael says, here in Virginia Beach, the Lowe's behind the apartment has 2 auto parts stores nearby, one 100 yards to the east, one to the west. There's actually a place here in Vegas where the AutoZone is literally right next to the, what's the other one? O'Reilly's. And then across the street, there's a, not Napa, what's the other place?
Eleanor.
Pep Boys. Oh my gosh. The kids have lost it. I've lost it. We're all tired. We're going to say cheers. You all have a good night. You all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.
Shine on.